Long time no see. I know, do not get on my neck because we're gonna have a great day together, so let's not even revisit the past. Hey YouTube, it is me, your favorite girl here, Kayla Janelle Totes Monroe, whatever you want to call me, just keep it cute. Thank you very much. It is like 10:30 on the clock right now. Oh my god, it's a helicopter. I am getting ready to go to Family Dollar because we gotta do a little DIY project, and then I'm about to ride to this car wash location to scout my photo shoot location idea, just to make sure me and the photographer are on the same page. And I'm taking y'all with me, and I figure I might as well start the vlog now versus sitting down, setting up the tripod and starting it professionally or perfect, you know what I mean? Just to start. Y'all, I'm fresh on the wake up. Like, all I did was wash my face, brush my teeth, didn't even do no skincare because I need to come back and do like a detailed skincare routine. My eyes still puffy off the wake up. I'm fresh, okay? Fresh on this camera, fresh and raw. But we're gonna have a photo shoot today. I'm taking y'all with me finally, and then while I get ready to do this 2000s inspired hairstyle, we're gonna chit chat about this Love Island season. So let's go. I was gonna go for paint, but I feel like markers may be my best option. I really need to go get me a Red Bull real quick, so let's go to the gas station. Before we get too comfortable, hello YouTube. I have been away just being an adult, adjusting to my new job, adjusting to dating, adjusting to just this new energy, this new era of being grown. And I love it here. Truly, honestly, I do. But yes, today we're getting back in the groove when it comes down to just my content creation. I just have a lot going on behind the scenes, and I'm finally able to step away because y'all know I have my personal assisting job and I have a job. So today we are getting back into my passions, my groove, my thing. So I end up going ahead and getting some paint. So I got these little, they're not just regular brushes, they're a sponge brush, just because I like how angled they are. And when it comes down to this inspo pick, I feel like those brushes will help me out a lot. Regular markers, because I was going to just do markers, and then some acrylic paint. I need to go downstairs and get a paper plate, and then I'm going to set y'all up to look down from a bird's eye view. And we finna get this poster board done. That way it can dry. It's 10:41. I need to be out the house by 4:15 at the latest. So we got more than enough time. Y'all just know how my anxious mind works. So I'm gonna give y'all a bird's eye view of me doing this poster board. I'm gonna turn some music on, and we're gonna get into this vibe. Now that that's out the way, didn't take no time. It's 11:11 on the clock. Make a wish. Period. And here is the finished poster board. Now this is cute. Now the markers was just like to add some razzle dazzle because I do want to get like some close-up aesthetic shots, and I didn't want it to be too perfect, mapped out, perfect. So I just added some little childish little stars, hearts, money signs. I wish I had paint to make them bolder, but it's cute. I'm satisfied with how it looks for sure. Outfit wise, let me show y'all what I'm wearing. Now I was gonna go out and buy me a pack of wife beaters, but I was like, I have an uncle and a brother, so I got me a wife beater. This one I'ma just tie up in the back. But these are the shorts. Real simple, real cheeked out, big time. And then these will be the shoes. Of course, y'all know my highest of heels. And I was thinking about like wearing some socks with them to kind of add like some layers and accessories for the shoot. But I don't know. I think I'm gonna kind of just let the theme and the aesthetic of the editing be the vibe, you know what I mean? Of course, I'm gonna have my accessories on, but you don't really need too much when you got face, body, aesthetic, you know? So it is, like I said, 11:11, well 11:13 right now. It's still so early. I don't want to do my hair right now because I'm one of them people where as soon as I do my hair and my makeup, I'm ready to walk out the door. So I think around 1 o'clock, 1:30, 2 o'clock, well yeah, 1:30, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna get on here with y'all, do my hair, do my makeup. While I'm away, I'm gonna go ahead and get my shower, exfoliate, come on here with y'all, oil up. I'll probably wait to oil up at the location so that way the skin is like popping, because we're gonna do it around like close to that golden hour ish. But yeah, it is 12:51. I am set into my vibes, feeling good. Now when it comes to this hair, just know that I am going with the flow. No real plan, just a general idea as far as the aesthetic that I want to go for. So we're kind of just getting our bearings. I got all my little hot tools laid out. I don't know. I feel like I'm better off with like a voluptuous side part. Maybe like a flip over vibe. Since we're already kind of parted into this direction. Maybe like this, and then some baby hairs down. Just kind of put this into place. Let's get into this Love Island chat, shall we? Now, I don't even know how I want to go about this conversation because I've noticed that Love Island is a very sensitive topic for a very select group of people. And by select group of people, I definitely mean the people that are chronically online and may need to pop a chill pill and come back down to reality. Because some of the hate that I've seen online lately is truly ridiculous. Like, ridiculous. And I feel like y'all should be ashamed of yourself. Not only because these people do not know us in real life, but because this is bullying. Y'all do know that, right? I guess I'll just start from a timeline of them getting into the villa. Getting into the villa was very nice. Now, I came into Love Island season 7 late because my cousin told me start with season 6 first. So I binged that for like 3-4 days. The fact that this series had like 30 something episodes, I am truly surprised by something like that, because I've never experienced a show even running like that, outside of it being like a Grey's Anatomy, you know what I mean? But yeah, pleasantly surprised that they were doing this whole 36 episodes thing. So I was locked in, and it took me a long time to really even get into the cast of season 7, because I was so locked in with season 6 still. Leah, Janae, Serena, all them, my absolute favorites to this day. But I felt like this season was really fake. Very, very lustful, very fake, very social media. And I'm not a fan. Now, granted, it's probably best that I just talk about like the trending things, because I really don't even remember a timeline from beginning to end. So first things first, me and Taylor will beef until the end of time. I don't care. I just hate cowardly men. Now, I say that because I cannot stand a cowardly man. Like, I hate a cowardly man to the bone. And I feel like there are so many opportunities where you could have told this woman to her face that you were not attracted to her. And just like, granted, you're not here for anybody's experience. You're not obligated to stay with anybody. I feel that all day long. Trust me, I get it. But the way you went about that was so lame, was so lame, was so lame. And to even get defensive and get in your ego, like, oh, y'all want to know who I pick? I pick Clark. Like, brother, please, you should have had them balls in the beginning, not when Alondria finally decides to break and express herself. I can't stand nobody with a victim complex. I genuinely cannot. Like you never had that energy when it came down to anything in this villa. Not even showing Alondria that you were interested in her, and now all of a sudden you got all this ego and all this bass in your voice trying to defend you being wrong, trying to justify you being wrong. Fuck out my face. Fuck off my island. But yeah, I will always beef with little boneless dreads for that. Always. I can't wait for this reunion. I hope he comes out of the door with some type of accountability. If not, I'll be skipping through his scene like I skipped through Pepe and Iris. Period. Nothing really to say about them. Pepe just looks good. That's literally it. That's literally all. What else? I'm trying to say the best for last because I know y'all hate Huda, but let's just go ahead and get it out the way. I love a controversy. So I empathize with Huda because I've seen Hudas, I've dealt with Hudas, I'm related to Hudas. At some point in my life, I'm sure I've been a Huda, just like every single human being out here. I just don't like how social media is trying to crucify this girl for being a young, ignorant 22, 23, 24-year-old and making mistakes. The only difference is her mistakes are on live television. Like I said, I feel like you have to truly experience something like that personally in order to give grace and to truly have empathy and understanding just for her as a human being. And that's always been my mission. Like, I've always stood on, yes, hold her accountable. Yes, she is and can be very, 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 very toxic. But I choose to give her grace in that because it's like, you can tell people that do not have a sense of community, family, anything, like, there's nothing common about sense at all. So I feel like a lot of people are assuming that she should know how to be a girl's girl, read the room, that kind of thing that most people kind of are born with to a certain extent. But like, you're looking at an abused, sheltered, young, ignorant, fast girl who's never had a proper representation of correct anything, never had friends, friend groups, genuine love, genuine guidance, genuine anything. So how do you expect her to know how to go somewhere and handle situational situations like a pro, like a 30-year-old, like a 40-year-old? And I'm not, like I said, I will never make excuses for Huda. Because at some point, yes, like, it's certain things nobody should have to teach you. But I'm realizing now with the world that we're in, especially when it comes to, like, the difference in generations now. My generation, being a 97s baby, we were raised to have a certain mentality kind of embedded in us already. These 2000s kids, 1999 kids, 2000s kids, I'm sorry, but they were not raised with the type of parents that we were raised with. And I'm willing to stand on that 1000%. We're in the midst of a different generation, bro, and it's up to us to give grace. And I feel like within that, you have to know the difference in accountability and cancel culture. Cancel culture is very parasocial, very online. Cancel cultures, their intentions are exactly what it sounds like, to cancel somebody. It's not to teach somebody right from wrong. It's not to hold them accountable. It's not to assist them in learning from their mistakes. Cancel culture wants to call you out on your mistake. They want to crucify you in public. They want to shame you in public. And they want you to hide under a rock and never be heard from again. They're not teaching you. They're not allowing you to show up different. And they're damn sure not accepting nobody's apology. So, like, I just say all that to say, I personally look at Huda as just a lost girl that genuinely has never had the correct guidance. And that says a lot. So I've dealt with Hudas. I'm able to give grace. My cousin is a Huda, and even though me and her are not on speaking terms, I'm able to give her so much grace because I know, even though she's older than me, we were not raised the same at all. And I give her so much grace within that. And I keep my distance. That doesn't mean I'm going to speak on her. I'm going to cancel her. I'm going to hate train her. I'm going to be on social media shit talking her all the time. No, that's why I don't understand the Huda hate community. Because for y'all to not like her so bad, y'all are really coming off weird. Like, I'm even able to give my stalker grace in a situation to where if she was to approach me to this day, I'd guide and give her so much grace because I know what you went through as just growing up is nothing compared to how I grew up. So I cannot expect you to operate how I operate. I give you so much empathy. I give you so much grace. And it took allowing God to get me there to become that way for sure. Y'all know my history with that. But like maturity, being grown, being 28 years old, I'm starting to realize you have to look at people as people, not as who they show up as, not as their mistakes, not as the comments they make, not as the things that they do, because you're going to end up not liking everybody. You're going to end up hating everybody. Everybody's going to end up getting on your nerves, but you have to teach people. And had I had that mentality back when she was actively stalking me, actively in my life, we could have probably been cool because I'm mature enough to know that you're not mature enough to meet me where I am, to get an understanding of who I am. But I can lower myself to your standards to realize where you're coming from and why you do the things you do. Even if it don't make sense or apply to me, I can give you grace. That's what loving people and being Christ-like is all about. And the only thing that I will not accept is disrespect when it comes behind this Huda community. I got in one little situation on Instagram. And from there, I was like, oh, let me just shut up. Because this Love Island thing got people parasocial and aggressive. It was one of those times where I was on like episode 20, still catching up before I was able to watch episodes in real time with the world. So this is when the world was on like episode 26, 28, and like I said, I'm on episode 20. Still watching on Peacock every day, trying my best to catch up. So I just made a little comment because I'm still, you know, giving Huda grace. This is like right after I think when they went to Casa, and she was, you know, still kind of trying to mix and mingle with everybody else. She was going through that phase, but she was kind of coming off more mature. She was kind of quiet, and it wasn't a whole bunch of hoopla from Huda at that time. So I put in my little Instagram notes, just not even necessarily thinking anything of it, just coming from a standpoint of people projecting. I was like, y'all hate Huda because y'all are Huda. And you had a lot of people laugh at the note. You had a lot of people ask me, what do I mean by that? And I was able to break it down, and they was like, you know, I understand where you're coming from. I had people agree with me, like, oh my God, yes, I'm so glad you said that. I've been in enemy territory for so long. So you've had Huda fans commenting and agreeing in the same way, just all different kinds of people respectfully having a conversation with me about Love Island, as people do. One girl said, no, I hate Huda because she's a terrible person. I'm gonna put up the screenshots right here. So I might not say it verbatim, but you'll see exactly what was said. And she's like, no, I hate Huda because Huda's a terrible person. And I'm like, I was just like, aw, like, because I already can feel the energy, you know, upon you DMing me. And mind you, this is somebody that I've met once in real life. So I know it's a possibility that I'm going to see you again. And because I'm getting this vibe from you, we're just going to go ahead and cut it short. I don't want to leave you on scene, but I was like, you know, aw, short and simple to the point. So sorry you feel that way. But she ended up saying, yeah, I forgot what the fuck she said, but something, it ended up going into, oh, I see she got you manipulated like she manipulated Jeremiah. Now, I personally don't feel like she manipulated Jeremiah. Do I feel like they love bombed each other and they had that toxic love story? Absolutely. One of my closest friends have had a love story interaction just like that. So it is manipulating, yes. It is toxic, yes. But it takes two people to tango. I will never deem one person guilty and not put blame on the other person as well, period. I will live that. Now, I said, mind you, I said this is my second conversation with this person because I've literally only met you in real life one time. Just one of those real cute, typical girl interactions of, oh my God, nice to meet you. What's your social media? We're going to follow each other. That's the end of that. We watch each other's stories here and there. She's told me happy birthday, I think once or twice. I've told her happy birthday once or twice. So it's like real social media type interaction, acquaintances, cordial. So, you know, I'm still just taking the conversation as casual and intentional as possible because, like I said, I'm able to recognize energy, and I know Love Island is a very sensitive topic when it comes down to people's favorites and who they don't like. I'm able to be understanding from both sides. I never involve myself in shit like that because we don't know these people at the end of the day. So when she said that y'all are being manipulated, at first I wasn't going to say anything, but I was like, no, you know, I'm always used to letting people slide with certain things, and I never say anything. And then the dynamic of our friendship is people feeling like they can talk to me any kind of way or they can play any kind of way. Like, so I was just like, respectfully, you know, keep the y'alls to a minimum, you know, LOL. But, you know, you don't really know my opinion on that situation or some shit like that. And you can see what I said, whatever. But, you know, just me taking that as casual as possible, like, you know, LOL, I understand what you're saying, but, you know, watch your mouth, because we're not even on that type of level of knowing each other for you to even be playing with some, oh, I see you manipulate just like Jeremiah. Who are you talking to? If me and you was cool like that, okay, cool, haha, we could play like that, but I don't even know you like that. And like I said, you already coming off hella aggressive and defensive. So her next response was, you know, or if I would have known you were gonna be so rude, I wouldn't have responded. You can turn your comments off. That is an opinion. Blah, 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 blah. Like I said, that's not my opinion on Huda at all. That's my opinion on the Huda haters. Y'all hate Huda because y'all are Huda. You're triggered by something. This girl triggers you in some kind of way to the point where you're on a hate train. You're in your notes talking major shit about this girl. On Twitter talking major shit about this girl. Like, you have to see something personal within that. That's the only way I see it. And that's just my personal opinion on people in general. And I feel like the only people that were hit by something like that responded accordingly. So that's why I was like, you felt like that was an attack, or you felt like that was rude because you don't know me like that. And that's just me setting a boundary with you. I felt offended by you saying I was manipulated by somebody that I don't feel like was manipulative. But long story short, I just feel like I was like, you're way more like Huda than you think. Because the same way you came into my DMs with all this energy and all this backing up your opinion and she's a terrible person, as soon as you get checked, you want to run into being a victim. No, let's not do that. You had all the balls in the world to say I was manipulated. And once I checked you, you want to try to make it seem like I'm being rude to you. No, I'm not being rude to you. I'm just letting you know. Keep the y'alls to a minimum. Because I don't find that respectful either. Simple. I was like, you don't know me like that, so you probably aren't used to a boundary, or you weren't expecting a boundary, and that's okay. But let's just leave it at that. We don't know these people in real life, so there's no need to even come off so hostile. That's what I mean by, you're a lot more like Huda than you think. That was the whole point behind why I said y'all hate Huda, because y'all are Huda. It's hard to see representation when you haven't fully faced accepting it yourself. And I received that 1,000%. But you're not finna play with me like that. I'm not finna allow you to think that we can he and ha like that, when, like I said, me and you have never even talked about this show. You're just assuming my point is an intended attack, when it was just a general statement on the hate community. But yeah, super simple. That's why I was like, well, after that, I was like, oh yeah, no more Love Island opinions unless I'm in the mood to argue, because people will really involve themselves in nonsense these days. That's what I mean by cancel culture. You was ready to go to toe in my comments about Huda being a terrible person and why you think so, but the moment that I tell you we not even finna play like that, but continue your point, now you become Huda. And you got an attitude, you acting toxic, you pointing finger, you this, you that, girl. Good night. But yeah, I really want to do this makeup look for TikTok, so I'm going to just pop up on y'all after. But I just want to wrap up the Love Island thing by saying it's so crazy that y'all sent Ace and Shelly home. I didn't like Ace at the beginning either, but you cannot deny his growth as a man and his admiration for Shelly. You cannot deny that. I feel like Huda should have been gone. I'm never going to deny that. I love Nick and Alondria. At first, I'm not going to lie, I thought their little love story was fake and forced. But the more I'm starting to watch them and the more I'm starting to watch her soften up, I really resonate with Alondria because, like, yes, it's very much older sister syndrome that she has. And I feel that shit to my core. Like, you have to show up polished, you have to show up strong, you have to show up with it all figured out, you have to show up with your head on straight, you have to show up intentionally. But when you find a man that just allows you to just walk with your back slouched and you get to lay your head on his shoulder and just not have to be so all the time, bitch, you can see the truth within all of that. I'm all for it. My papaya, I feel like she's low-key toxic as well, but I feel like that's y'all's face, so y'all not gonna see it. But yeah, she is unapologetically who she is. I love it. But I feel like that junk does become a bit much sometimes, and I feel like she is a little bit toxic and reactive like Huda as well. But y'all won't say that because she's very positive, and her pros outweigh her cons versus Huda's cons outweigh her pros. So I get it, and you can't necessarily compare two people, but I feel like that's why they're friends. Amaya gives her grace, Huda gives her understanding. They resonate with each other. They get along. that is my spiel on Love Island. Leave your opinions in the comments respectfully, because I would hate to have to personally say some things back to you if you catch me on one of them days where you catch me off guard just being unnecessarily disrespectful and rude. We don't do that on this channel. We're not gonna start that. Anyway, let's get into this makeup. It's 1:30. We need to leave by 4 o'clock, and I still got content and transitions on TikTok to do, so I'll be back. All right, y'all, makeup is done. I went with a glossy lid and a little bit of a smoky winged liner. You can see it a little bit. I didn't want to do too much because I want the aesthetic to bring everything together, but it is 2:03. I'm always getting ready extremely freaking fast, so I don't know what to do in the meantime. Now we can start getting ready. Already got my top on, basic wife beater, tank top, whatever you want to call it, and get ready to put my shorts on. These are right here. I needed to put my clothes on before I took my hair down because I just had a feeling that trying to take that tight shirt off with my hair down after I put the holding spray in it was gonna mess me up. Part of me wants to like leave the shorts unbuttoned and like kind of folded down in the front. I guess I'll let you see what I'm doing. I feel like you can't even really see that, so good to go. Now we can get into the vibes of taking this hair down. I know I'm still recording for TikTok, so I'm gonna just separate this hair with y'all. Get my fingers first before I even attempt a comb. Do I give edges? I think so. Natural edge, yes. I feel like I'm missing some layers and how I want this to fall. This part is fine, but this part is missing. Should I do a little clip? A little flat twist type of clip. Let's see. whoop my ass. Shoot is done, wig is lifting, and I need to go tie it down so that way I can just wake up and go to work tomorrow. Don't have to do anything else to my hair. The makeup is eating, so I think I'm gonna go in there, hydrate, eat something, and then make some TikToks before I take my makeup off, because the behind the scenes were really cute, but I know y'all really couldn't see much as far as up close and personal. So I'm gonna go in there and make some content before the look goes to waste. That was a good shoot. I really liked it. I really liked it, and I cannot wait to see the final results. Hello? Yeah, I enjoyed that. But I think I'm gonna sit here and take advantage of this lighting real quick. So, hold on.
So anxious just to feel the silence. It's so quiet, but I hear